brief discussion of working right into the homework questions. Hopefully helpful. Any questions? Come and see me. Question 1 gives us the information that there's a line passing through y equals 5. Okay. Now this line has no gradient, m equals 0. So when we come across to our linear function y equals mx plus c, we're going to put a 0 in where m is, and you end up with an answer y equals 5. Just as an aside, whenever you see a function written in the form y equals a number, it's going to be a horizontal line because there is no m term, there is no gradient, the gradient is 0. The second question that we've got asks to expand and then simplify. So the expansion process I've used here is crab claw. You can also use FOIL, which is where you multiply the first, the outside, the inside and the last FOIL. So the first ones would be you multiply those two together, and then the outside you multiply that one by that one, and then the inside multiply this guy with this guy, and then the last you'd multiply that times that. Either way, FOIL or whatever, you would get some working like this, and it's important to know these two here cancel each other out, which gives us an answer there. Okay, the next question, number 3. We're asked to factorise it. Factorise means we're going to put brackets in. You'll see the answer there that I've got, it's got brackets. The way I've done this is the decomposition method, or the quickest way I know to solve a quadratic that's got integer answers. In this case here, because there's a 6 in the last spot, we're going to be looking for factors of 6. Okay, now 2 and 3 fit the bill for that. The second thing we look for is in here numbers that add up to 5. Okay, so it's our second little rule here, and you'll see that 2 and 3 also fit the bill there. So 2 and 3 are going to be what we need to use, and what we do is we replace the middle term, which is 5x, we replace that with the 2 terms, and this is where we mean decomposition. We've broken down or decomposed the middle term of the quadratic. The idea now is, having written it in that form, you can look at the first 2 terms, which is the x squared and the 2x. There's a common factor, x. But that leaves us with this x plus 2, and that's useful because down the other end, when you take 3 out of 3x plus 6, take the 3 out the front there, you're left with an x plus 2. This tells me so far that this is going to work because we have got an x plus 2 and an x plus 2. What that means is we've got x lots of it, x lots of x plus 2, and 3 lots of x plus 2, or x plus 3 lots of x plus 2. Ever wonder whether you got that right or not? You could always do a FOIL or a crab claw on that to get you working sorted. With question 4, we've got 2 fractions that we're adding. Now they have different denominators. That's got 5 and that's got 9. Whatever we do, we've got to get a common denominator. So if it's 4/5, what I've chosen to do is multiply it by 9 on the denominator and the numerator. Why have I bothered with 9? Well, it just so happens that it's the value over here. Okay. Similarly, I've multiplied this side by 5. Okay. If we have a close look at that, the denominators in both cases are going to be 45. We just need to make sure then that we got the numerator right up here and the numerator right up there. So we end up with a 36 and a 5 as the numerators, and as I said before, the 45 on the bottom is common debate. You can add them together now because they've got a common denominator. If you had, at any point in time in your fractions, a common denominator then you'll be able to get yourselves the addition in this case. 41 45ths, and there are no ways you can cancel that. Question 5, we've got ourselves a little question of area. It gives us the radius, and I'd expect by year 10 you guys can remember your area rules, but here it is, pi r squared, r is 10 in there, so we end up with 3.14 multiplied by 100, or 314. Question 6. It's really taking this Venn diagram that we've drawn here and answering a couple of group of questions, interpreting 34 like cake, and that is comprised of the 18 and the 16. You see that there's actually 34 people in that circle. We've also got 16 like both. Now the idea there is 16 is this guy here in the middle there. Okay, so 16 fits within both of the circles. The third one we're looking at is that there are 18 people who like cake but not ice cream. In other words, it's this number here, but we're choosing to exclude this group in the middle here because they like ice cream. We're only after the 18 that like cake but not ice cream. Finally, we've been asked to calculate the total number. Well, in this case here it's 55, and that's actually done by adding those three numbers together. We know that there were 60 overall in the sample based on the question that was asked, so therefore there are 5 that don't fit anywhere onto this graph. So 5 don't like either. They can't fit onto the cake, they can't fit onto the ice cream. Question 7, we're dealing with interpreting a table. We've got a group of swimmers and a group of cross-country runners. We're told variously that 7 athletes participate in both, 13 only in swimming, and 9 only in cross-country. And from that table you would see that there are 25 people that aren't interested in swimming and not interested in cross-country. They're in neither. So in this case here, the 25 gets held out, can't go into any of the circles, into that circle or that circle, because to do so they'd need to be either a swimmer or a cross-country runner. They're neither, they sit outside. And we know that there's 54 in the sample. Okay, question 8. We've been given this large three-way Venn diagram. First thing we're asked is the total. Because everybody is only counted once on this Venn diagram, you can just add the values up, get 18. The group that are involved in all three, or the number of people involved in all three, is only 1, so that's why we get that 1 there. The probability of all three is based on that 1 that we had here, but it's also using this. Okay, so it's 1 on 18. Probability is the number of possible events, or the number of ways it can happen, which is 1, over the total sample space, which is 18. With question D, there is 2 ways you could address this one. You can look at it just from the perspective of 4 and 1 to give you 5, or 4 alone. Both are valid answers, but I think the best one here is the 4 and the 1. Okay, E, looking for people that are own a PlayStation and an Xbox, but not a Wii. So it's PlayStation plus, PlayStation, so we're over here, and the Xbox over here, okay, but not the Wii. So in this way we could almost scratch out anything in there. So it's going to be 1, sorry, my mistake, it's going to be in there. Okay, PlayStation and Xbox, but not the Wii. And finally, down here, PlayStation 3 or Xbox. So in that case, there are going to be 6 and 8. Where does the 6 come from? Yeah, the 6 comes from this, 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 and this. Those add up to 6. And the 8 is that and that. Okay, so you end up with a group there. It can be argued whether or not the one in the middle is included. But either way, if you show you're working, it will be good. That's that one.